Okay, sorry about creating a second video. I should have done this at the end of the other one, but I had already uploaded to YouTube. I had made it, I said in passing that I should uh, just use Copilot to summarize my notes. And so I started to do all that, and then I found all these really cool things that he was suggesting. So I'm coming back with a separate video just to go through. And because I'm just trying to, I guess ultimately, I just really becoming a fan of Copilot and just how helpful it is. So I just wanted another video up. This is now I'm 2:30 in the morning working on trying to just get all this stuff figured out for a new venture. And so what the method I am using to try to do all that is using a calendar entry in Outlook so that I can have a history of everything that I'm doing, not the most optimized. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do is figure out how to optimize running a business. So right now, AI, the whole thing is telling me that I end up because I still am working on uh, LinkedIn and all that stuff. So I started a new conversation and I just asked it. I just copied what I did and I said, could you please summarize what it is that, well, summarize my note. So it recommended that. And then it recommended this really helpful thing. And I understand this may be really basic to most of you, but I don't know that people think about this kind of stuff. So I just decided this is the best way to try to explain, well, just to make sure that people can be aware that there's different phases of projects and things like that. And so this is really, Kobaya came back and told for me the obvious kind of a thing, but I just wanted to make sure that because people don't see this, and so I just make a video. So what he did is he recommended, because this is where when I use the word focus, I am trying to get myself attention to dealing with wherever I'm at. And so he says you can also tailor this based on where you are, drafting, reviewing, and finalizing. So the different phases of a project. So that's not really helpful for me at this point because right now I'm just kind of dumping. But I just thought maybe because number one, it's just another use of Copilot, just summarizing stuff. So right now I'm going back to my calendar entry. Let me just do another one. So that's straightforward. I don't need that. I use the word focus when I'm trying to just focus and get my brain dumped, getting out of what? Some I could just actually, I may be able to just say, because I created a separate train of thought, separate from my optimizing LinkedIn. So I could just say, right? This is the hard part. Well, from here on out, summarize. Well, I could just say it every time, right? Now let's just say from here on out, 'Summarize. 5 summaries, titles, size, summarize titles, your suggestion. Phase, did I paste that already? I already did that. It's weird. Come on. What the heck? I already got that. What's hard about this one is I have no idea where that is except for the date. Ultimately, though, this is what I'm trying to go through is the resume. My goal is to get all these calendar entries titled so that I can not deal with everything that's here. because I'm overwhelmed with all the stuff that has to get done. And I just realized, Kevin, title them so you can close them. And then I thought, well, you can use Copilot to summarize. And so that's why I just came back. I just want to make this. When I use the word focus, it's just to do that. It's bam, let's just write this down. So that's completely irrelevant. Point. Proceed. Oh, I was just trying to explain this. Delete that. I feel really bad about making a video about this. I don't mean to insult people, but at the same time, it's like this Copilot thing is really, really helpful. That's why I call it a Copilot. That's why it calls it a Copilot. Right, so let's see how it summarizes that. But I understand that that's ultimately my trip charge. Come on. Copilot, please. It's right here. A lot of tone and depth in what you wrote. Professional wins, spiritual reflections, hard choices. This is your vision for what's next. Here's the distilled. Ultimately, it doesn't matter about the justification. If people aren't going to pay it because there's desperate people who don't value themselves. That's why I lose. This mapping, that's called business launch. Because this actually should be something that I write like at a newspaper or something. This is really intense what I'm dealing with. Try to think about how to summarize it. Ultimately, because this is something that is gonna. So I've got a couple. I got this separate chain of thought. So it can focus here. It's really amazing that a computer can recognize what depth is. I mean, do you understand how freaking scary that is? I know it's algorithms, but it's just so. This is the whole thing that I'm trying to just develop is how to use AI. I'm just overwhelmed at the moment. 'Winning 1,000 jobs to the bidding war era. This is me just having a cathartic rant. That's why I think too. These kinds of things could become some kind of article. Right now, I'm putting them in a YouTube video. It's part of my process. Proposal defense: why expertise should be free. So funny, right? I just keep coming back to the fact that this is so freaking amazing. That it's so intelligent. Future perfect. Arthur Smart Text Podcast. Bible study. Yeah. The reason I'm trying to title this is because I want to be able to find it again. Yes, I can search the words, but I'm trying to get that summary because I want to be able to just search for it. So the whole thing is about keywords at that point. And now I'm just trying to deal with the fact that it's now 3 in the morning. I still have so much work to do. This is work as well as just trying to get the foundation built. All these docs that I've written have to get archived somewhere. They're in a folder. Ultimately, the 14-page document doesn't really. I'm referencing that. It doesn't summarize what's here. Vision mapping, God's call, business launch, legacy moves. Right, that's why it's so amazing to me. Again, I'm making this because I just want to share this. Use this tool. I didn't even know it was here, and I just wasted. I can't even tell you how many months of my life just sitting there thinking by myself. Future projects. You're not just responding to what's happening. You're choosing how to redefine what's possible. Simply help. Write a compelling summary. It does your story justice. Interesting. It offers a suggestion about how I can improve it. Because this is why I have all these panic attacks. With the saturation of incompetence, just everybody just bids zero because they have no concept of what they're worth. Sorry for wasting everybody's time while I think. I thought this was going to be a quick video trying to prove or using Copilot, but this is the heart of what I'm doing in my business. I'm one of the few. I don't even know how many. Interesting to ask. I'm one of the few people I think that's been in business 78% of 78% of small business survive in their first year. Oh, come on, Kev. 2017. All right. I know. clicked on the video about summarizing. Kevin, you're in the rare and resilient company. According to U.S. data, 35% of small businesses make it to their 10th year. Outlasted nearly 2/3 of your peers. Sorry for making this about me, but ultimately these videos are purposefully supposed to be about me. I'm trying to share what I'm struggling with, who I am, and that's why I just decided to share, like, that there is a secret, and I just have never used Copilot, and so now I'm just like freaking all the stuff you can do with, and I'm just so blown away that I didn't use it earlier, and so I'm making a video about that, trying to help people know this tool is here. Right? Whether economic shifts, a pandemic, a hyper-competitive gig market, which is what I am. That's not just survival, that's grit. Right? That's why it's so help. It's freaking amazing to have that kind of just people to understand and to say it's grit in action. Want to visualize this on a timeline chart or include in your portfolio pitch. Right? This is why it's so, I mean, he just, you want to go forward? It's like, oh man, it's freaking nuts how now I'm off on a separate thing because ultimately I should be back on this other one. I'm just because the other one knows me, my resume. So there's right. This is why I get off on all these different tangents because I'm also just I'm trying to build my brand. Business launch. 100% of business start here. 2018, year one, 70% fail. Pandemic, 68th, still active. 55, pandemic recovery and innovation. I see. This is where I keep coming back into this whole thing about how do you communicate all that. This this is where all the gold is because I don't have any method to communicate this. Yeah, I'm trying to starting a video because I just had no. I mean, I knew intuitively how hard it's been. So quite honestly, I'm at the phase where I'm giving up because it's just every single bit I'm losing. As soon as I ask for money, if I didn't ask for money, where I would actually lose as a business, I get those, so I could earn money, but I could actually go out of business, and people have no concept of what that means. Only the guys that have built this understand. I need to make this whole separate thing about. I'm off on a separate topic. I'm here showing how Copilot can help summarize stuff. And now I'm on to this whole topic of trying to show my brand, because I never have done that. I just have always been private with who I've been working for. And I have all these pictures. I have over 18,000 pictures. I need to develop that story. Right now. Oh, come on. They call it legacy building territory. That's why it's so ironic that this is the time in my life where I'm just giving up because nobody gets what's in this. And I don't want to make this about, see, this is, it's all these different rabbit trails. I have to stay focused on what this video is about. I'm trying to summarize all these calendar entries so I can close them. Ultimately, I need to be able to just search things. That's the whole reason I'm developing this system of calendar entries. Now I'm onto this. I know this, but like I said, I don't have any way to communicate it. People have no concept. Not for this video. I'm trying to just summarize my life, my calendar entries. Okay, so focus. I've got to come back and revisit this whole thing. I have to develop this idea. Sorry, just took a quick break. Alright, this video is supposed to just to summarize them and I'm off on a tangent, but it's an important one. And then I'm just trying to figure out how to capture this. I have to come back and because that's the other thing. It's just trying to do some kind of service to help. That's ultimately, I think, the point of smart text is to help those of us who are struggling. It's just overwhelming. I know this stuff. Like I said, I just know this. I just know how hard it is, and everybody's telling me to not bid, to bid zero. And it's like that is the absolute worst thing to do. And I know it's so counterintuitive because the whole point of being a business is to just make something. But there's an expense, and if you devalue who you are, then you're in this life of slavery. When people don't understand that, I know it's probably making too much because this is not a video about that. But I need to do that. So freaking overwhelming. I just was trying to make a video about using Copilot to summarize stuff. But this is why I'm doing all this. Ultimately, is to try to help people use the tools that are out there. In the middle of me using these tools, I am being selflessly plugging myself. Because that's the other thing when I was taking this break. I chose to use AI, this Copilot, to look at my LinkedIn. Because the other thing that I just realized is that this is the only way, well, I shouldn't say the only. If I asked people, I could get people to interview me. But I'm trying not, well, I'm also trying to just explain to people that this tech is here. If I was just interviewed by a person, then that would be great. I would have all these accolades, whatever. I'm trying to do something a little deeper. I'm trying to show people who I am because who I am doesn't come out in an interview. Who I am comes out when I'm doing this, living life, struggling, getting angry, sensing the injustice. I know it sounds melodramatic, but people don't understand that you have to bill for your services. And you have to have clients that are interested in your service. The most basic things of business. And when there's 50 people competing for the same 2-hour job, I don't know, there's 50, at least 40. Oh, that's why it's like the fact that I've been doing this, something, because I feel like right now that because I'm not failing, I am getting work, but it's not what I'm asking for. And I understand that that sounds like I'm a spoiled brat. I get that. Everybody says that who doesn't understand. And so I have to just build a whole video just on the concept of the business behind. Because that's the other thing is that some of this is just God blessing me, and then God chose to just stop. And I looked and analyzed that, and I guess I'm way off topic. I need to not think about that right now. I'm trying to just finish this video. I don't want to get off on another topic because I need to stay on topic. I'm producing these videos for people to spend time, their time, trying to get something of value for you. So let's just do that. But that's the other part is that I just have no idea how to come back and maybe because this was something God prompted me to do. God prompts me to do everything. I keep thinking I was going to, write a book or something, how to succeed in the gig market. But all of a sudden I'm failing. And that's just what's overwhelming, trying to figure out why. When God says no, I think, okay, I'm supposed to do something else today. And so that's what I'm doing at 3 in the morning, trying to show people who I am. It's hard to do that unless I'm honest. Should I mean to turn this into down PDF, right? I'm just Copilot's like, can I offer something? Can I help you in another way? It's like, oh, it's freaking nuts. I keep coming back to that. That's why I'm making this video. So I just want people to see, understand this. Would you like me to print this into a download PDF or layer in some way your key personal victories during each? Wow. I mean, that's why it's like, that's why when because I've been using him now for maybe over a month, and I've had to repost him 3 times. And now's not the time to get off on it subjects. Right now, I'm just trying to. Right now, I have this opportunity for to embarrass myself because I'm supposed to be this huge executive. Oh, No, stay on focus. I am an exec. I don't want to get off on all these tangents. I'm here to use Copilot to summarize things. So let's take this and put in a calendar entry instead of on my website or something like that, because that's all I need to just spend all this time creating a market plan. Please. Amazing that it can do that. Create a PDF. I'll format this in a Word document. You can clean out the layout, editors. Right. You know, this is where I need to go back because this thread is unfamiliar with my other thread. I did that on purpose. I didn't want to contaminate. But now I'm understanding that contamination is actually good because this little guy has all my stuff. He's the one I'm spending all this time with. And like I said, I just wanted to create a separate thing. What? Because ultimately I can just delete this thread conversation so that it doesn't pollute what I'm trying to build. But now I understand that polluting is exactly what it needs to. Stop, Kevin. Focus. Just get this done. Okay. Did I get this summarize? Oh, come on. Did I get this summarize? Right. Actually, I think let's let that go. Can I do something like categories? Wonder if I could do some kind of color scheme. Okay. My goal is to get all these calendar entries cleaned up so that I'm not distracted like this. But this is not distract. This is the core of what I'm here to do. So get my webcam. Okay. Okay, so that's Copilot's resume. That's self-explanatory. Close. Maybe I should do some kind of color scheme. LinkedIn without God. I have to go back once I get them all properly titled. Then I'll go back and work on ones I need to work on, like that. This is the prompt for that. About. See, but that's interesting. How do I know? How do you capitalize on the fact that something is missing? It's one thing just to title it and bury it, but there has to be a path to execution. How do you know? This is the prompt. Okay, that was where I was prompting the whole thing. What's missing is the theme of my life, story. I, all right, that's why it's good to go back and just look what I've done, title it correctly, so that I can go back and find things. Sorry, I'm just freaking out. Coffee is helpful. Come on, calendar, please. There we are. Oh, I could try to click on it. I think it's all the way to the top. No. The thing that's difficult about Microsoft is that it just doesn't work sometimes. I just want to bring up the window, please. This happens over and over and over and over. If I just let it sit and then click, nope. It's embarrassing. I know I'd bring up the window. I thought I just titled this. I thought I just added the whole concept of my personal story. Just trying to bring one page at a time, please. Not rocket science. Okay, now it's up. Did I just not title everything? Did you just not see me? Do I have two of the same thing? Okay, so instead of searching for it and getting worked up, just do it. What's missing is the story of my life. The theme. Right? But what this actually needs to also say is what this is. Not just what's missing, but this is what is, because ultimately this title has to have what is so that I can search it. List everything done in LinkedIn so far. So this is the right. What? Why do I say what's missing? Because I see that there's nothing about the missing. Okay. Maybe I should also just have different. Can you do color scheme categories? It's counter categories. Okay, that should have been done. Focus on the task. Come on. I click on it and nothing. There you go. If we have colors like different phases. Best in caps, so I can find it. I click on it and again, it doesn't come up. Give me a sec. Waiting. Oh, waiting and hovering. Trying to get it. Right. Please. Come on. I click on it and nothing happens. Let me pause this so that it'll bore you. I can I it's like something is just I hover and then I click and nothing comes up. I hover, click the title, nothing comes up. Just want to bring the window up. It's like every time I click, I just can't believe it. I have seen this happen. It's just so frustrating in Windows. I'll pause and okay. Oh, my camera's off. Oh, gimbal. Hit. Let me pause and see what comes back. Okay. My camera hit the gimbal protection, turned it off. So I'm going to leave this as we are. But the point is that you can use, that worked. You can use Copilot to summarize things and then put the title in. So I'm going to leave this at that we are. Thanks for listening.